Hi everyone, it's Deborah, welcome back, and today I'm going to treat you to some of my watercolouring. Not really. I have pulled out these watercolour pieces that I did. Now, I'm going to state up front that I really can't draw a stick figure. I'm not the best painter in the world, but at least I tried. I went to class for a couple of years and really enjoyed it, but then I got so sick of the travelling because it was a little bit far away from home and the traffic was really bad, and they changed the time of the class, you know, all that sort of stuff that kind of puts you off. Teacher, change teacher. Anyway, I have a bunch of these sort of watercolour attempts in a tub, and I've just pulled some out thinking I could turn these into something that maybe I could use in my junk journals. So I thought maybe I would start with one of these and see how far I get. Let me just see, which one did I want to go? Oh, this is the one I was looking at. I put it to one side. I've got some baby ones as well, but you know, I don't know if I'm going to be able to use them all. But I thought maybe I could make something out of them because they're really good size for junk journals as well. And a lot of them are on really high quality paper, like this one here. I don't know if you can read that, but it's basically arches. I call it arches. I think the paper's called Arche or something. It's French. And it's a French rag paper that is pretty expensive. So rather than letting it sit in the tub, why not recycle it? Now, they're meant to be poppies in case you're wondering what they are. And then on the back, I was playing with perspective of drawing people and shadows, sort of, you know, just mucking around with things like that. So you have to forgive that, and we'll get on and do something with them. So I want to be able to fold it, you know, horizontally down here. So obviously the poppies are going to be on the side, but I guess when it's in the book you're not really going to notice, and I want to put some stuff over the top. I've also got some other paints out, and I've got some stencils as well. So I'm just going to grab a stencil because I really haven't worked out what I'm doing. I have some paper, tissue paper that was sitting, I haven't put it away yet, I've been very naughty, but I thought maybe I could kind of put some of this down over the top, you know, just to make it like a bit different and mix it up. And I think if I can find my ruler, I will do that. I'm going to tear this off to start with. And I have some matte medium, which I think I'm going to use to put down on here. Maybe I can put it like up there. Just see where it's going to go. It's incredibly windy here today, I must say. Usually August, we, you know, around our show time, which we call Eka in Queensland, and it's usually windy at Eka time. And Eka is like our exhibition. That's why we call it Eka. They tried to change the name years back, because everyone always called it the Eka, that's what it was known as, and then they tried to change the name to the Royal Exhibition Show or something, and because now they've just gone back to Eka because nobody could get their tongue around that after calling it Eka, like, you know, I'm talking the last 100 years or something, however long it's been on. So usually at that time we get some wind. Just getting a wet wipe out just to make sure that I'm sort of cleaning up as I go. And today, which is July, not mid-August, it's windy. In fact, it's been very, very cold here. As you can see, I've got like a long sleeve top and then a jumper on as well. So it's like super cold. So remembering that this is going to be on, like that's going to be the halfway point about there. I want to make sure, in fact, I should fold that, shouldn't I? I don't want to do something over the other side necessarily. I kind of want to concentrate on one side or the other. And because this is, you know, quality paper, it's like super thick, super thick, this one, but it's lovely when you're painting on it. And I was told by the teacher when I first started my class, and I went with my, you know, cheap Big W paper, and I had the brushes and the paints, they were fine, but she said if you get paper that is quality like this one, then your painting will improve, and that proved to be the case. It was quite amazing actually. Anyway, enough of that. Now I've got some stencils. I thought I maybe could use some stenciling over the top, I guess. I wonder if I should use these circle ones and put that on. Let me just see. And then what colour paint will I use? I've got red. I'm a mind to use purple. I love red and purple together. I don't know, most people don't like sort of purpley colours, but now the paint I'm using is Dilutions, which is the Dina Wakley paint. This one is called Laid Back Lilac. How gorgeous is that? Beautiful. Well, if you're a purple lover like I am, and you can see all the paints kind of flaking around the rim, that's because I haven't used them for a while, which was another reason I thought I would get them out and try and use them. Now I'm going to use the wet wipe, I think, to rub it over, and hopefully it's not going to put too much mess onto my page, because of course my stencils are dirty. They're always dirty. Just take a little bit on the wet wipe there, and let's have a little go and see what happens when I do this. Just blending that through. Not sure if this is going to work, and hopefully it will, because I really want to use this paper in my journals. Okay, so clearly I need a bit more of the paint, because I want a bit of a darker colour, I think. I don't want it like that. So rather than rub, I'm going to dab like I'm stenciling. Well, I am stenciling, but in the old days, in the olden days, we used to get stencil brushes and stencil things on the wall. In fact, I remember, like my house, which is not far from me, and they've probably painted over it as soon as we sold it, I stenciled every wall in every room. That's a real mess now, isn't it? Okay, we're going to have to do something about that, because I don't like that at all. So what will we do? We'll put some paper over the top. I think I'll get my black and white paper, or maybe this. Hang on, I've got a bit of tissue here from one of the serviettes, and if I put that over the top, I think that might help get rid of that mess that I just made, and we'll try again with something else. Now I know this is probably going to go purple now because the matte medium is wet, but I don't have any choice. I need to get rid of that. I don't like it. Okay, let's just put that down. The purple's still going to come through. You can see that coming through there now, but I think it will be fine. And I will just see if I can tear that on here. It's going to be hard because everything's wet, but okay, that'll do. I've got that off there now. Pretty good. Let's get some more matte medium down and just blend it to the edges so it sticks. So I think that's better than what it was. I didn't like the purple. I did like the purple. I didn't like how I applied the purple. It's not the purple's fault. It's me, definitely a me thing that. Let's pull some of that off as well and get a bit more matte medium under there to make it stick. Now this is a Dina Wakley stencil, and I'm going to change colour. I'm going to go to a different colour, and what I'm going to use are the little sponge things. I put them all on top so that I could use them. I don't know why I didn't use them in the first instance. I'm looking at what colour I can use. I do actually have this one, which is Postbox Red, which is also really nice, but of course I don't have the little dot thing on the top of it, but I think I can find one. Actually, I'll just find one and see how I go with that. Okay, I've got my little tool out and I've got a new thing there, and I'm just going to put that in. I'm wondering if I should mix that up a bit actually. Probably I should, because otherwise it's probably not going to work, because I haven't used them for so long. There's a bit of a skin formed on top of them actually. And I like the red because you can see there now that the red is very similar to the red of the poppy that I used. I'm just going to take my knife, my palette knife, so I can mix it up a bit before I start. Because I think, yeah, these do dry out. People tell me that, but I haven't used these for months and months, and mine haven't dried out so much as just need a bit of a stir. I know people say In the past I've read that you're meant to add water, and I know if you want to stop that paint sort of flaking and can get the lid off, you're meant to add Vaseline around the edge, and that will help with that. But of course, you know, I don't do that. I just wing it and hope that it's going to work. And yes, sometimes I have to throw things away because I can't get the lids off. But that's the price I pay for not wanting to go through and do that. Now, this is like super thick, so I could possibly have gotten some water and sprayed on the top of it, but I won't yet. It's also probably going to be super messy because, you know, me and paints don't mix real well. I tend to make a mess whatever I'm doing. Just move it off that B for birdie slightly and push it out of the way because I want to do 2 figures, I think. No idea. Let's just try it and see what happens. There's the head there. And then I'll put some on this one while it's down. A bit more of that paint. I'm not going to squish it round because the tissue paper is coming up when I do that. Okay, I'll try it and see what happens, and hopefully we don't have to throw it in the bin. Oh, no, that's okay. I don't mind that actually. There you go. So that would be one side, and I'll put something up here just to complete it because it's looking a bit incomplete at the moment. I just want to wipe this red because red is, you know, this colour will go everywhere if I don't do something about it immediately. It's very, very strong. Now I'm going to let that dry because I also have the Dina Wakley stamps, and I think I could possibly even stamp over the top of that when it dries. But I'll let those figures go for now, and then I'll find something to go up there. Just looking around so I don't have to get up to see what I've got on the table. Actually, you know what I have? I have some tissue paper. If I carefully move this, here it is. I might be able to put a piece of this tissue paper up there to introduce more of that black and white. Possibly. I probably should cut this. There you go. I'm going to tear this off here at the number 1 spot, and first of all I am going to put the lid on this paint before I spill it everywhere. So this is Tim Holtz tissue paper. I don't know what it is, but it's one of the little ones with the numbers and things on it. If I tear that there, and you need to be careful, as I can tell from personal experience with this, because if you leave it somewhere and it gets wet, it's kind of ruined. So you need to make sure when you sort of do bits like this that you put it away afterwards. And that is my personal experience with any of these sorts of things. I'm forever getting accidental bits on them that I didn't want, being wet or whatever, covered with stuff, and then I can't use them anymore. I'll just tuck that over there, and then I'm thinking I could put this like down here, couldn't I? In fact, I might have to put it up higher. If I put it there, maybe I'll put it over toward the centre more. What do you think, there or down here? Down here, I think. Tear that off, that little bit. This will be a feat if I can get this on without ruining everything. It'll be a miracle. Just a bit of matte medium to make it kind of stick a little bit, and then hopefully it's going to stick also to the wet paint. I can still go through and stamp over the top of that figure once it's dry, and I probably should put this aside now and then finish it off after I've done a couple of other things so that it's actually dry. I like that down there. I think that's a good addition, but I want to balance it with something up here, and that little bit's probably not enough. No. So my next thing is I've just spotted a clock, and it's sort of half a clock, and it's going to be perfect. In fact, I'm going to take the stamp here word as well. You can just use these as a block, but I think if you try and pick out bits of them, you probably get a better design. That's going to be good just there. I like the red that comes through there as well. So that's going to be that side. I'll leave that side now, and I will move on to this other side here. I think with the back I will put something on there, but of course I have to wait till all this dries, so that might have to happen another time unless I get the hairdryer or the heat gun out and do something with it. So I'm thinking about stamping some of these figures on here. These are the Dina Wakley media stamps. So I've got these ones which are called abstract figures, and I have these ones which are called collaged hearts, and I've got one of them out, which is that one, which I could stamp there. But I also like these sayings that are on here. So if I put some sayings on as well, and then I don't know if I need any more hearts or anything. I do have a heart here. I don't want to sort of take away from the painting too much. Let's try that. I'll just get my stamp block. I'll also need to use a fast ink, like a Ranger archival ink, because otherwise if I put something over the top of it, it's going to bleed everywhere if I used a distress ink or a distress oxide. Okay, I've got a stamp block out now, and I will put the figure on and see if I can get this to work. Again, I haven't used this stamp block for years. In fact, I was thinking about getting rid of it, but I've lost my, or I've misplaced, I haven't lost, I've misplaced my large stamp block. I must say this one's actually really good because it does have a handle, and it came with multiple blocks. I've had it forever, and each of the blocks have a little thing on it so you can put the handle on it. So you only have one handle and then multiple sizes of these. I was thinking about putting this here. I'm not sure how it's going to stamp on the watercolour. That will be another thing. Just rock it back and forth and see if I can get it to the image to come out. Okay, it's like super, super light. I have a solution for that though. That's fine. It can be super light. I don't mind. And now I'll put the saying on as well. So I just have to work out where I'm going to put it. What does that say? I'm just going to put the ink on the bottom piece. I don't want the top bit. That bit says love rocks. I think that's what it says if I look at the actual piece. Yeah, I thought that they were two different stamps, but they're not. But I'm overcoming the problem by just putting the ink on the bottom words, not the top words. And now I will pop that down. I'm going to put that up here. And the last one is the heart. So let's see if I want to even put this down. I think I will. I'll ink it up anyway. Just get ink on there and I'll put it down and see if I like it once it's down. And if I don't, just like the purple dots, I can work out how to cover it. Now, where am I going to put the heart? You'd think I want to put it straight in the middle, but I actually don't. I'm going to stick where I had it down here. And again, it's quite pale down there. So let's do something about that. Just grabbing some water. I was going to do painting today, that's why I've got this massive thing of water. And I've got my aquarelle pencil, because you're meant to, well, you do have to wet them to actually get them to work. So hopefully if I now go over that with water on the pencil, it will become darker. So it's almost like the stamp's creating a bit of an outline, and then I'm just going over it with the pencil because I want it darker. If I didn't want it darker, I wouldn't have to worry. Or probably if I had a wetter stamp pad, I wouldn't have to worry. But since I have neither, and I do want it darker, I'm just going to go over it, just following the lines of the stamp as best I can. And that way it solves my issue of wanting it darker or not. Let's just get this done. course, you can also add more lines, so you don't have to follow just what's on the stamp. That's a personal preference. It's up to you what you want to do. If you've got stamps that you want darker, you can just use that as your base and move on from there. I think that's a lot better when it's darker, don't you? Yeah, I do. I'm glad you agree with me. No, I know you're not really agreeing with me, but I like to think you're talking back to me. This is her ischemic writing that she does. She's obviously done that for this stamp. Dina Wagley I'm talking about. Shouldn't say she, you might not know who I'm talking about, but she's an excellent artist and I love her free-flowing style. Wish I could do that, but can't. I just don't know why. Some people can do things like that and others can't. I like that heart too. It's gone a bit runny. That's much better. I'm not going to worry about going over the saying. I think that will be fine. So I'm going to leave that for now. And I don't know why I'm trying to wipe that with a wet wipe, because it's archival ink, so it dries. It's really dry already. But I'm thinking to use this little bit that I didn't put on before, putting it over there. I'm going to leave that one for now. That's going to be left, and I shall put it aside and do another one. Now this one here is a picture that I did, obviously, and it's not fantastic. I don't like how I tried to do the rocks, and you know, there's a lot that I don't like about it actually. Probably most of it, but we'll leave that for now. But the back is blank. So I'm going to start to fold first, just so I get an idea of where the centre is. So these are the Tim Holtz stars, Tim Holtz stars stencil. And I'm thinking I might do some of that. And I'm going to go for a different colour again. So I have to take my little red thing and put it back on the bottle, on the top of the ink, or the paint. And because it's red, it's just really gets everywhere. I love that red though. And I'm looking at what colours I've got in things like this. Let's get this. Now the downside of having these stuck on the pot is you just can't, you know, stick it on like that. You do have to take it off and manually put it on, because otherwise it's not going to stick. Now this one probably needs a bit of a stir as well. I don't want to get any of the yellow paint or the red paint in the yellow, so I'm going to use the end of a pencil. You can see that that is super, super hard. Now that's never happened to me before, I've got to say. But I do know that if I spray some water in there, it should come back. And yes, I am using the end of a pencil. Just because I don't know what else to get. Yep, I've never had that happen. It's like rubber nearly. So that's interesting. I've learnt something today, that I think you can reconstitute it. Just put a bit more in. In fact, I'm going to just open this up and pour it in, simply because it's a mess now. Try not to be too heavy-handed though, but I think it needs more than the spray is giving it. And then I might have to let it sit while it reconstitutes. I'm trying that with the yellow to see what I can get out of it, and it's working. It's going to go up that side. And then I'm going to come over here and do some up in the top corner. Okay, I think that's enough really. And I'll leave that, and I'll check it again, because I do think I need a bit more water on it, and see if it'll reconstitute itself. And then if that doesn't work, I'll Google it and see, have a look on YouTube. I'm pretty sure they said if you put water on, and I probably should be putting, you know, like proper bottled water, whatever you call it, sterile water. Otherwise, you know, might get mold growing on it, but I'm just going to leave it now. put it back in the thing and hope for the best. And then I've got this piece of paper, and so this is what I'm going to put down. Just working out where it can go. Maybe up here. Maybe I can do that. If I tear this piece off, I can use that in something else. Maybe even like that, actually. Yep, I'm going to do it like that. Just get that down kind of on the fold area there. And once this is in a journal, I think it'll be fine. I like the yellow with the black, I must say. Black paper looks great with the yellow. And I'll just tear this little bit off on the end. Maybe I'll take some of these flowers. What's on the back? Nothing. I might take some of these flowers and put them on. I guess I can fussy cut some of these. This isn't an expensive paper, so I don't really care if I just sort of fussy cut some of these around. And I don't mind the flowers, actually. I don't really like the stems of the flowers very much, how I've done that. But the flowers themselves I think are okay. Now I've just cut 3 of those flowers out, the purple ones, and I've put them on there because I thought that they were quite nice. Now if you don't have any bits of old watercolour pieces like I do, then you can always just get some and paint, get some paint, doesn't have to be watercolour, and paint it directly onto the surface that you're doing, and then just use your tissue paper and your other bits and bobs, just like I'm doing. So I don't want to make it sort of overly crowded. I do think I need something else on here though, and I'm wondering what that something could be. This is what I'm going with. I've got the big heart. Now I know I probably have to colour it a bit with the pencil to make it actually dark, but I'll get the outline and then I'll worry about that, because I thought maybe that would be good to put down here. And I don't have any more re-inker for this. I do have for my other black one, but not this one, which is the black soot, in the black soot colour, which it should be pretty close to the re-inker that I have actually. And I've got that here. No, that's not it. Let me just grab it. I saw it before in my box of stuff. This is it here, I think. Yep, this is jet black. So maybe I can just put this onto the ink pad and see if I can get it to re-ink so it's dark. I know I'm mixing black soot and jet black, but they're both black, aren't they? Probably not. They're different shades. I know there's a million shades of black, which is always surprising. A million shades of white and a million shades of black. But that's just what it is. Now let me just let that soak in for a minute. You can see it's soaking into the pad there. Maybe you can't see that, but see there, it's soaking in. And now let's do some more and see if I can get a better image this time. It certainly feels better going onto the ink pad. It's not onto the stamp. It's not as much work to get that on. I don't want that bit of white there. Okay. And they're both archival ink, so it shouldn't have been ruined the ink pad too much. And I don't want to buy another refill because I've still got this one, so just make the best of what I've got. Okay, let's go. Just push that down and see if I can get some movement on it so it sticks properly, and cross my fingers and take it off. Okay, much better, much better. Look at that. I was going to say that bit up the top didn't work, but it actually doesn't go all the way in. It doesn't meet in the centre. That's a much better image. I'm glad I re-inked that. It certainly must have needed it. So I've got that page now, which is quite cool. Yeah, quite like that. Again, I'm going to have to wait to do the back. I can't have both done at the same time. Wish they'd stick down a little bit more. I'm wondering how I can make those stick a bit more. Because this paper is so thick, that's the problem. This paper that I've put them on is this sort of, it's just a cheap watercolour paper, but it's fine. But it's really, really thick, and because of that, they're not sticking down as well as what I would have liked them to. But they look okay when I see them on the camera. It's just up close. I can see the edges around them. I think I'm just going to have to live with that, you know. Yeah, I think I'll live with that. So another one to pop aside to let dry. And let's do one more, shall we? I really want to attack this one. I quite like this one. I like these flowers. I don't like the blue and the sort of red and blue I've got up here. I don't like that at all. So with this one here, I'm going to start with a stamp. It's probably not the thing to do, but I've got this little stamp, which is one of the Dina Wakley sayings that I had before. It's a different one this time. It says, let me check what it says. It is love that makes the impossible possible. And that's what I'm going to put down here. I think I'm going to put it down here actually, because I was going to put it in this top corner, but I don't like that paint there, so I need to do something about that. Okay, so I've put it upside down. Okay, well, honestly, okay, what are we going to do about that? We're going to turn it up the other way and stamp it again. So this is how you overcome the problem when you've stamped your saying upside down. We're going to turn it round, so it needs to go this way, and I'm going to position it so that it will be like a reflection, but not really, because obviously I can't do it as a reflection because I don't have the words up the other way, but I can do a faux reflection. There you go. What do you think? I think that looks fine. I can't believe I put that on upside down. Well, I can actually, because it's just the kind of thing that I would do. Okay, I don't mind that actually. I guess it's fixed what I considered a problem, and it's, you know, now kind of looks like maybe it's not, I know it's not, but like reflected in something. And that's just going to have to do, we'll have to live with that one. Okay, let's put something up here while we can. I'll just have to get over the fact that I've done that. Now, I think I'm going to do some more of that black and white tissue tape because it's really popping well on this colour and, you know, the coloured paint. And also, I don't really want to have that blue there. So I'm just working out what I can do. If I can cut like a piece off it, maybe this piece here I will cut. Let's just go up here. Just cutting this the number thing out here in the New York, like that. And let's move that out of the way again so I don't get it wet. And I think if I put that over there, that's probably going to look fine and hide some of that sky that I've done. So I don't think it matters how good you are with art as long as you do it, because it's very nice to do art. I like doing art, even though I'm not good at it. I actually did art in school. It was one of my things I did when I, you know, in the last years of school, and art history, and I really loved the art history. I still love going to museums and things, even though wouldn't be classing myself as a painter of any sort. That looks pretty cool though, doesn't it? I need some down here as well. Again, just fold that. So it's going to be about here. I need something to balance that. Probably some more of that tissue. Just found this in the drawer. I had forgotten that I had it. Oh, look, there's tissue down there. Now I probably don't want more numbers, I would think. And I think I'm going to go with something that's not as in your face as those numbers are. So that would be this piece down here. I'm just cutting this out. And then if I move that away and put the ruler on there, I should be able to tear it. Let's just put this down and get this torn. Now, of course, I do also have lots of Dina Wakley tissue paper with, you know, her style. So I could have used that, but I've got this, and in the idea of this was on the desk, I thought that this is what I would use. What do you think of that there? I think that'll look fine. Let's get it down before I change my mind. I think I'm going to stick with the tissue again and put some up on that corner. So I'm going to take this piece here, all of it, if I can get it to tear. Yep. And I think that if I put all this on that corner, I'm not going to worry about the fact that that's quite straight, because when I put the matte medium on it, it will kind of fade into the background a bit. So you're not going to see it as much as it is before you put it down and have the matte medium on it. It's sort of very wet on that other side. Probably should have started with the left-hand side, not the right-hand side, because I'm right-handed. I'm going to finish up when I finish this and just have a quick look at the three of them, and I will come back after they've dried in the next video, and I will do the back side of them, the reverse side, and then I'm going to continue on and create a little journal with them. So down we go, and hope for the best again that I've inked that enough. And that's not too bad, that's pretty good actually. Positioning's good too. I've just managed to miss the little bud thing that I did on here. Okay, I think that's fine. So let's just get the other two back and see where we're up to so far. So I've got this one. Now, that's not quite dry, but when it dries, might stamp over the top of those figures. And then I've got this one. I think so far, so good. We've got three different things, and I think I quite like them. So what I'm going to do in the next video is I'll do the reverse of them, and then I'm going to create a bit of an art journal out of them. So I'm going to add some other things in and show you how, if this is your thing, that you can also do this. And as I said, you don't have to have any pre-existing paintings that you've done. You can just create these from scratch, or, you know, do your own thing, create whatever you like to draw from scratch. Obviously I like flowers and buildings. I also like buildings, but flowers, I guess, are the things you kind of start with when you first start doing art. And flowers can be interpretive. They don't have to look like flowers. You can do things like I've done here, which is the pen over the top of the ink pen over the top of the watercolor. But whatever you like to do, it's really just about expressing and being creative. So until then, I will see you in the next video, and happy creating. Thanks for watching. This is Deborah. Cheers.